Good morning, all of you. Today we are going to read class 7 SST part History, chapter number 2, Kings and Kingdom part 2. Now, in the last video, we have read about the emergence of new kingdom during the medieval period. So, in that video, we have also read that the three main dynasties, those who fought for the Kannauj took control over that. So those were Gurjars, Pratihars, Palas, Rashtrakutas. So these were the three major dynasties, those who particularly fought for the Kannauj. So what was the reason behind that? That I had also explained in the last video. And now in the next topic we will start some of the other kingdoms that arose during that period. So there we have to see that the Chauhans, first of all we will go for the Chauhans, those who emerged during the 7th century. Now there is that in the last video I had explained about the vassal. So vassal or chieftains or samantas were there. So they took charge of the rulers, and in return they give tribute to the kings as well as provide soldiers, taxes, lot of things. So after some time these samantas or vassals become more powerful and overthrew the main ruler and become the ruler of that particular area. So here the Chauhans were also the vassals of the Gurjars and Pratihars. So they were the basically samantas of the Gurjar and Pratihar. So let us see who is the person who founded the dynasty Chauhan. So Vasudev was the person who founded the dynasty Chauhan or Chahmanas. So they were also known as Chahmanas. So it is said that it was founded in 7th century approximately, and these Chauhans were probably in the area of Rajasthan, probably Ajmer. So there is one ruler whose name was Ajay Raj. It is said that Ajmer, the city which was there in the Rajasthan, it was established by the Ajay Raj only. So after that only the Chauhans were become more powerful and they were emerged during that area. So here I am giving you some of the important rulers of the Chauhans like Vasudev, Ajay Raj, Vigrah Raj, Prithviraj III or Prithviraj Chauhan. So this name Prithviraj Chauhan you have already heard in your previous classes in other Hindi or English stories, or you have read somewhere the article about the Prithviraj Chauhan in the many other sources. So that person, that Prithviraj Chauhan, belongs to the Chauhan dynasty. So we will read about him also in this video. So the Chauhan kings Vigrah Raj IV was there, and like other kings have some of the qualities, like some kings were good poets, some kings were good painter, some were good singer, some were good archer, or some were good soldiers. So these like brave basically. So like this Chauhan king Vigrah Raj IV was too good poet. So he wrote Harikal. He published the Harikal. Basically it was the book. It was written by the Vigrah Raj IV. Prithviraj Chauhan ascended the throne around 1116. So this was the time period where the Prithviraj Chauhan ascended the Chauhan dynasty basically. And after getting the throne, he made the Delhi his capital. So he made the Delhi as his capital, and as well as he fought with the Chandelas of the Bundelkhand. So the Chandela dynasty, we will read in the same video also about the Chandelas. So he fought with them and established a power on the Delhi. Also you have heard about the Mohammed Ghori and the Battle of Tarain somewhere. So let me explain you what is the Battle of Tarain. So there the Mohammed Ghori, he came from Ghazni, and he fought with the Prithviraj Chauhan. He fought 2 times basically with Prithviraj Chauhan, in year 1191 and in year 1192. So basically in the first time 1191, Mohammed Ghori defeated by the Prithviraj Chauhan. So Prithviraj Chauhan forgave the Mohammed Ghori and spare him, and with the warning that that he will not again annex or will conquer his territory. But this was the fault of Prithviraj Chauhan, and this forgiveness made the Mohammed Ghori more powerful, and again he reorganized his army and he again attacked on the Prithviraj Chauhan. And in 1192 he won the battle, and after that probably after Prithviraj Chauhan there were no proper ruler was there, those who can fought against the Turk dynasty. So after this the Indian kingdom, the Muslim invaders had started coming after this. So who helped the who helped the Mohammed Ghori in the Battle of Tarain, in the second Battle of Tarain? That was Jaichal. We will read in the same video in the next slide. So this was the famous Battle of Tarain, and because of it the Muslim invaders started coming over the Indian subcontinent. So this was there, and there is one more person you have studied in class 6 as well in same class 7th also in the first chapter, Chand Bardai. So Chand Bardai is the person who wrote the Prithviraj Raso, means the total biography of the Prithviraj and whatever he had done in his life, or the battles, rest of the things, because though he was a good poet and he was the friend of the Prithviraj Chauhan, so he wrote several things regarding the Prithviraj Chauhan in the book Prithviraj Raso. So this was an literary source basically that provide a sufficient amount of the medieval history. So these were the kingdoms that arose during the 7th century. Now move to the next, that is the Kalachuri dynasty. So Kalachuri dynasty was also known as Chedi dynasty or Haihav dynasty basically. So this Kalachuri dynasty was divided into two sects basically, that is the Central Indian or the Northern Kalachuris and the Southern Kalachuris. So first we will read the Northern Kalachuris, then we'll go for the Southern Kalachuris. So Northern Kalachuris was extended up to Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan areas. So this was the area where the Northern Kalachuris dynasty peoples were living, or they were also known as Chedi or the Haihav. So Haihav is this was basically a Sanskrit term that comes from the horse, and they probably belongs to the Rajput dynasty. They were brave. So this was the name of this, particularly the Kalachuri dynasty. And the founder of this Kalachuri dynasty was the Kokal. So Kokal first was the founder of the Kalachuri dynasty of the Northern Kalachuris, and their capital was the Mahishmati, and this Mahishmati was near the Narmada river valley. So basically the area of the Narmada river where the Mahishmati place is there in the Madhya Pradesh. So this was the capital of the Northern Kalachuris. Let us see some of the important rulers during the Northern Kalachuris dynasty. So they were the Krishnaraj, Sankargan, Buddharaj. So these were some of the important rulers in the Kalachuri dynasty. Later on, many more rulers were there, but these were most prominent rulers. So now let us see this Northern Kalachuri dynasty. It was not only in the 11th or 12th century, it was in the earlier centuries it was present like 6th and 7th century in the area of Maharashtra, Malwa and Western Deccan, but they were not that much prominent, that much famous during that time. But after later on, after gaining some power, they become more famous during the 11th or 12th century, means later medieval period. So it's about 11th century they rose, and the decline is too early. It was 12th to 13th century and they were declined. So it is just because of the rulers, those who are not proper, those who are not have the abilities to keep the rules and their empire strengthened. So this was the reason of probably all of the dynasty, whatever the dynasty we read in the previous chapters, or we will read in the next chapters. So the main reason was their ruler whosoever the ruler is there was not capable to rule, and because of that the dynasty suffer a lot. Now move to the southern Kalachuri. So southern Kalachuri was in the most of the part of the northern Karnataka and some part of the Maharashtra, and so their capital was Kalyani or Basav Kalyan. So this was the capital of the southern Kalachuri and is in the Karnataka state. Now let us see some of the important rulers during the southern Kalachuris, like Bijal, Someshwar, Sangam. So they were some of the important rulers of the southern Kalachuri. But it is said that the Krishna Raj was there, and this person was there, and some of his samantas or chiefs were there, and who went to these places, Maharashtra and Karnataka area, and they started ruling in that particular area. So here it is given their trace origin is from the Krishna Raja, and who was the conqueror of Kalinjar or Dhala in the Madhya Pradesh. So this Kalinjar and Dhala is also present in the Madhya Pradesh state right now, present day. So the conqueror of that particular area. So probably this Krishna Raj was there, and some person who belongs to the Krishna Raj dynasty, he went to the southern areas of basically Karnataka and Maharashtra, and they established the Kalachuri dynasty. But this rule, the southern Kalachuri dynasty, was not too long, it was too short. But though there was a Bijal, a ruler of the southern dynasty, and he have the all power that is given by the Chalukyan king. The king was the Tail III. So Tail III gives a lot of power. Probably he was the chief or chieftains of the vessels of the Chalukyan dynasty. But after getting with support of the Kalachuri dynasty, Krishna Raj, so he established the Kalachuri dynasty. Probably it might be happen, and there in that particular southern Kalachuri dynasty, there is a popular form of Kannada literature was started, that is the form of poetry, and that poetry form is the Vachans. So Vachan was probably started in the southern Kalachuri dynasty, and the people, those who those who write the Vachan, they were known as the Vachanakar, or the poet basically in our term. So this Kannada literature progressed a lot during the southern Kalachuri dynasty, and there is a lot of written work or literary sources that we have seen in the southern Kalachuri dynasty. Like, let us see, there is Virupaksha Pandit, he wrote Chenab Basva Puran, and Dharni Pandit, who wrote the Bijal Rai Charit. Chandra Sagar Varni, he wrote the Bijal Rai Puran. So these were some of the written work in the Kannada language that was in the form of Vachana, and these people were the Vachanakars. So this was probably the Kalachurian dynasty, and it was started by basically them only. So there we have read the two sects of the Kalachuri dynasty. One is northern Kalachuri, or central Indian Kalachuri, or the southern Kalachuri. There is a leader like Krishna Raj and Sankargan or Buddha Raja. There was a lot of ruler there, and their capital was Tripuri or Tewar in the Madhya Pradesh, and there in the southern Kalachuri their capital was the Kalyani, Baswa Kalyan, or there were important rulers like Bijal, Someshwar or Sangam. So, and there is a new emergence of Kannada literature, that was Vachan, and the people, those who write Vachans, they were known as Vachnakar. So these were things that were found in the Kalachuri dynasty. Now move to the next, that is the Chandelas. So Chandelas were there, and the area which they have conquered, that is the central part, like Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Odisha, and the nearby regions of the central India, and their region was from the 9th century till 13th century. So this was the time period of the Chandelas dynasty. So their first capital was Khajuraho. So you have heard a lot about the Khajuraho and the city and the temples which is present in the Khajuraho. So that was established by the Chandelas. After some time they shifted their capital to the Mahotsav Nagar or Mahoba in the Madhya Pradesh only. And the Chandelas dynasty, the founder of basically Chandelas dynasty was the Nanuk, and he founded it in the probably 9th century. So there were so many important rulers in the Chandelas dynasty like Nanuk, Vakpati, Jaysakti, Vijayasakti. So Vakpatis, he had two sons, Jaysakti and Vijayasakti, and Rahil, Harshadev, Yashovarman, Dhang, Gandh, Vidyadhar, Parmardidev. So lot of rulers were there in the Chandela dynasty, and the Chandel dynasty was so prosperous during that reason. There is a ruler like Yashovarman is there. So Yashovarman is announced a lot of area that is captured by the Rashtrakuta kingdom. He conquered all those areas. Yashovarman conquered almost all the area that belongs to the Rashtrakuta dynasty basically. And the area what he covered is the bank of river Yamuna in the north up to the Malwa in the south. So he conquered a lot of area that belongs to the Rashtrakuta dynasty. Also he constructed the Lakshman temple. So this Yashovarman has constructed a lot this Lakshman temple, and during the reign of Dang, the Kalinjar, it is also present in the Madhya Pradesh, acquired the great importance and regarded as the second capital after Khajuraho. So this Kalinjar was there, and Kalinjar is the place that is become the second capital after the Khajuraho. Khajuraho was the first capital though, but Kalinjar became the second capital in the region of Dang because it was important. It becomes the important city during the Dang region. Also Dang assumed the several titles, like he assumed the title of Maharaja Dhiraj Kalinjaradhipati. So he assumed this title and become the head of the particularly Kalinjar area and rule for that central India. Though he was a patron of art and learning, so he was so much he loved to make the progress of art and learning. Also he built several temples, like there is two examples of temples what he built is Vishwanath temple and Parshvanath temple. So this was a temple that is built by the Dang, and he belongs to the Chandela dynasty. So can you tell me the reason behind the building these such temples? So the reason is only that the people could know him. So because making such huge temples is just to show their powers, to show their wealth, as well as people can recognize him. So why we are taking his name on the behalf of Vishwanath and Parshvanath temple? Just because he had spent a lot of money, and we can memorize, we can recognize him after the so many centuries as well. So people used to build these such monuments like that we can recognize him. So there Dang was there, and he built Vishwanath and Parshvanath temple in his region. There is one last ruler was there from the Chandela dynasty, that was Parmardidev. So Parmardidev was there, and he had a conflict with the Prithviraj Chauhan. So Prithviraj Chauhan, we have read about Prithviraj Chauhan. So there is a conflict between the Paramardi Dev for the conquering of the territory basically. So here the Paramardi Dev lost the battle, and after losing that battle, the Chandelas started decline. So this was the time period where the Paramardi Dev was there and he lost the battle, and because of it Chandelas started extincting. Or you have already heard about the Khajuraho temple, where it was built by the Chandelas in mid of the 10th century up to the mid of the 11th century. This was a time period near about 1 century it took to build the Khajuraho temple. Or you have already heard about a lot of things about the Khajuraho temple. You had studied in the several classes or from various sources. So this Khajuraho temple imprints the Jain and Hindu religion. So basically this temple shows the Hindu and Jain religions related in that temple basically. Now move to the next, that is the Gadwals. So Gadwals were there. So basically Gadwals were there, and their reasons basically it was Banaras, Awadh, Kannauj, Indrasthanika. So now Indrasthanika now it is known as modern Delhi. The area which is now modern Delhi, that was known as Indrasthanika, and Munger, that is in the Bihar. So this was the reason that was covered by the Gadwals. So this Gadwal, it is said that they were originated from the Varanasi and Ayodhya regions. So this was the reason from there they have originated, and the capital was Kannauj. So Kannauj, we have already read about lot of about Kannauj, why Kannauj was there and why people wanted to conquer the Kannauj, and so because of it the Kannauj was the capital of so many rulers during that period. The founder of Gadwal dynasty was Chandradev, and he was there about 1089 to 1103. But there were two more rulers with him, that is Yashovigra and Mahichan. So they were there, important ruler in the Gadwal's dynasty. So here this was the time when the Muslim invasion or Turk invasion was started, and let us see what happens there. So Gadwal tried to ward off the growing menace of the Muslim incursion by expedient alliances and payment of tribute. So basically what they do, the Muslim incursion, whatever the invasion were there, they tried to make it stop, and by providing by doing alliances, by giving tributes. This was running up to the Madan Pal. He was the son of Chandradev, and during up to the reign of Madan Pal, they were trying to cope up with the Muslim invasions, and they were trying to stop them. So they were trying to protect their territories from these Muslim incursions basically. Let us see some of the important rulers during the Gadwal dynasty, from the Gadwal dynasty, like Chandradev, Madan Pal, Govind Chandra, Vijay Chandra, Jay Chandra. So we'll read about the Jay Chandra also. We'll see there, despite the regularity of the Muslim attack, which were at the least temporarily repulsed by the Govind Chand. So Govind Chand was there, and he repulsed, he basically opposed give the answer to the Muslim attacks, and he protected his territory. Or after protecting his territory, he moved to the Patna and Munger area in Bihar, and after conquering all those areas like Patna and Munger, and he assigned his son, this Vijay Chandra was there, his son Govind Chand's son Vijay Chandra is there, and he appointed Vijay Chand as the chief of the Bihar and Munger area. So basically he leaves that place and come back to his main capital city. And there is Mohammed Ghori. So Gadwal dynasty also there, and it was also suffered a lot from the Muslim incursion. Here it is the invasion of Mohammed Ghori. So there is a reason behind that, why they have attacked on the Gadwal dynasty. The reason is that the Jachin was the enemy of Prithviraj Chauhan. So Prithviraj Chauhan, we have read, they were fought in the Battle of Tarain in 1191 and 1192. So in the first battle, I told you that Prithviraj Chauhan won that battle, and in second battle he lost just because of the Jachin. What is the reason behind that? Why the Jachin name is there? Because Jachin is there who has the Mohammed Ghori and for defeating the Prithviraj Chauhan. Why he does so? Because when there is a daughter, when Jachin's daughter Sangyogita was there, and he trying to marry his daughter, so this Prithviraj Chauhan make her hostage and marry with her. Sorry. So because of this reason, Jachin wanted to defeat the Prithviraj Chauhan, and because of it he helped the Mohammed Ghori, and because of this reason Mohammed Ghori was able to defeat the Prithviraj Chauhan. So here Jachin is there, or he was the enemy of Prithviraj Chauhan, and in the battle of Tarain he defeated Mohammed Ghori defeated the Prithviraj Chauhan. After defeating him, the Jachin was also defeated by the Mohammed Ghori in the battle of Chandavar. So Mohammed Ghori did not leave him also, instead of helping, he was helping him, but this Mohammed Ghori also defeat him. So this there is one more king was there, Harish Chand was there, or because though Harish Chand was not that much capable ruler to rule this particular Chandela's dynasty, and because of it he was not able to hold his whole territory, and the Chandela's dynasty, the Gadwal dynasty become so weak during his reign. Now moving to the Hindu Sahih dynasty. So Hindu Sahih dynasty was there. This dynasty is probably found in the areas of the present day area of the Afghanistan and Pakistan area. So there it was arose in the Kabilistan and the old province of Kandahar. And this area was particularly that kingdom arose in those areas were known as Kabul Sahih or Hindu Sahih. The reason is 565 to 879. So this was the time period where the Hindu Shahi or the Kabul Shahi dynasty arose. So there is the Kushan Empire was there. Before that, the Hindu Shahi dynasty, Kushan Empire was there, and after the decline of the Kushan Empire, after some time this Hindu Shahi dynasty emerged, and they started ruling the particular area, the Kabilistan and the Gandhar area. So they made their capital Kapisa and Kabul. So they made the capital, and there were important rulers in the Hindu Shahi dynasty like Jayapal, Anand Pal, Trilochan Pal, Bhim Pal. So there were several kings in the Hindu Shahi dynasty, though the Hindu Shahi dynasty was not for the longer period of time, but they have the several good kings and the important kings in their region. So during the reign of Anand Pal, Ghaznavi fought the battle of Kutch. So when Anand Pal was there, so Ghaznavi he came and fought with the Anand Pal in the battle of Kutch. And there is Anand Pal. So the Anand Pal, in that battle Anand Pal totally lost, and he suffered from the financial as well as territorial loss. Means that though he was not that much sufficient, and that he had not that much army and financial status, so but though he fought with the Ghazni, and resulted in he lost lot of money as well as the territories that he conquered, that goes to the Ghaznavi, under the Ghaznavi. So to protect himself or his territory, he signed a treaty with him, and that treaty is signed in the 1010 CE. But after signing the treaty, he passed away, and after him the Trilochan Pal was there, and he ascended the throne in 1011, means 1011 CE, and he rebuilt the Sultan Mahmud of Ghazni. So the Sultan, the main ruler of the Ghazni, his name was Sultan Mahmud. So he rebelled against him, but there was no result, and he was assassinated by his own troops. His own soldiers, these soldiers and troops assassinated him from his throne. So his time period was also too short, and he was not able to handle the Hindu Sahib dynasty. And after him, the famous and brave king was there, the son of Tirochan Pal, Bhim Pal. So Bhim Pal was there, and he was so brave and courageous, and because of this courageous and fearless, basically, he was known as Bhim. There is one chronicler of Ghaznavi, Abul Hasan Utbi. So he referred the Bhim Pal as a Bhim, because Bhim is representing in the Mahabharata the fearless and brave and courageous. So because of it, he was referred as Bhim by the Abul Hasan Utbi, and he was the chronicler of the Ghaznavi. In the Battle of Nandana, Bhim Pal fought bravely with the commander of Ghaznavid army, Muhammad bin Ibrahim. So for protecting of the territory, Bhim Pal fought bravely with the Ghaznavid commander, that is Muhammad bin Ibrahim, but he was not able to handle him properly, and after some time he ruled approximately 5 years over there, and in 1026 CE he get died, and after that the Hindu Sahib dynasty get declined. So this was the probably short reason of the Hindu Sahib dynasty, and that was not that much powerful that they are able to handle their territory. So these particularly basically some of the kingdoms that we have read in this chapter, they arose, they fought with each other. For what contest? They fought with each other for conquering their territories. Why they wanted to conquer their territories? The reason is that the area, the territory that they will conquer, they will get the more amount of land and revenue, as well as the resources which were present in those territories and those areas. They will directly get all the benefits. So this was the reason. During the 7th century and means basically medieval period, so they wanted to make more areas, they wanted to make more money, they wanted to be more powerful. So for that purposes they fought with each other and wanted to conquer the area. So this was the reason basically. Now we'll see the basic structure of the society, economic and the military administration, all over the things that were present in the medieval period. So how the people used to run the government, who is the head, what kind of armies are there, what kind of social status was there for the every person, what is the economic basis of the particular society. So we'll read in this topic, and we'll see the administration purpose of the medieval period. Let us see. So basically alsoever the head is the king, and the king was held by chief or samantas. So as I explained in the previous video also, the king is head, but he was held by the numerous of the chiefs and samantas. They were helping him for the administration purposes. The king, though he was the main head administrator, but he was also the commander in chief of his army, and also he was the he had the supreme judicial authority. Means that whatever the judicial matter will be there, he is the last authority, that he have all right to take the decision regarding any of the judicial matter. Also in the previous time, several kings took the several titles like Maharaja Dhiraj, Chakravartin. So this title particularly tells us about the strength and power of the particular emperor. So whatever the king or emperor is there, their power is shown by the titles what they have assumed, like Maharaja Dhiraj, Chakravartin. There were several titles during the medieval period they assumed and they took. So here I told you that king is not here alone. He had the council of ministers, that people, that minister were helping him for the running the territories or running the kingdom. So like there is Mahamantri. So Mahamantri was the head of the council of ministers. So there were several ministers, there is one head, and the head was known as the Mahamantri. Next is Akshpatalika. Akshpatalika was known as the revenue minister. He took all of the revenue records, whatever the taxes took from how much taxes were took from the people, from the subject, how much money was expended. So all these records were took by the Akshpatalika. Sandhi Vigrahika. So Sandhi Vigrahika is the minister that deal with the foreign authority, foreign matters, and like whosoever come from the other country, whosoever come from the other territories, they keep the records of those people. Akshpratihara, he was the guard of royal palace, means that his responsibility is to take care of the royal family, the king and his family. It is his responsibility. Rajpurohit, so he was the royal priest, means he is the head priest of the kingdom. As well as Mahasenapati, he was the commander of army. So whatever the army is there in that kingdom, he is the head of the army. Though the king was head, but for the look after all the armies, he appointed the Mahasenapati. Now let us see the division, on what basis that there is a division of kingdom of any dynasty. So there is whole dynasty was known, whole kingdom was known as province. So province was known as Bhukti, and this Bhukti was headed by Uparika. So Uparika is there, and the work of Uparika is to collect the revenue and maintain law and order. So the province, the whole kingdom was divided into province, and the province was known as Bhukti, and the head of the Bhukti was Uparika. So Uparika work was there, he collects the revenue and maintain law and order. Now the province, the state, basically the states were divided into districts. Districts were known as Vishay or Mandal. So the head of the Vishay or Mandal is Vishyapati. So his work is also for the collecting of revenue, also maintain the law and order in the district. Now there is another, if there is small area, small town is there, so that was under the Bhogpati. So Bhogpati is also there, and his work is same, that collecting the revenue and maintenance of the law and order in the particular area. So this was the territory that was divided. The whole kingdom was divided into province. Province is divided into district, and district divided into small area like villages. So we'll see the villages also, like village and town administration. Though in every society, village is the basic unit of administration. It is the smallest unit of administration, where there is a village headman. So village headman was known as the Grampati, and Grampati was also assisted by number of village committees. Means that he was not alone. He was there is several committees for helping him. So these committees, like their work is to look after the local school, roads, water tank, temples. So there were several committees to look after these particular sections. So there is Grampati is not alone, he is helping by these several committees. And for the town areas and city areas, there is Kotwal. So Kotwal is there, he maintained the law and order, and not only in town, in the peripheral areas of the town also. So Kotwal is there, his work is to look after the law and order. And like in the village areas, there is several committees. In the cities, there were several committees for look after the schools, road, water tank, temples, and many more things. So there are several committees in cities too that are helping for the administration purposes. Now move to the military organization. So why we are reading about the military? It is just because the number of army, the countries, the kingdoms have the more number of army, they have the more power. So we'll see what kind of army is there in the during the medieval period. So many kingdoms have this strong infantry. Infantry means those who are move and those who are pedestrian basically, and those who are cavalry like chariots and large number of elephants. So they were these kind of military or armies were there, those who are helping for the maintenance and expansion of the empire. Means that they were the sign of power, but they were also helping for the expansion as well as the maintenance of particular empire. There like kingdoms of Palas, Gurjars, Gurjar Pratihar, Rashtrakuta, they have the several kind of the armies, and like some of having the cavalry, some of having the infantry, some of having the large number of elephant army. So this shows the power of the particular kingdom, and also these armies help them to expand their territories and maintain the whole empire. There is social system like social life of particular region. Again, it was divided on the basis of caste system. As you have already read in class 6, the caste system is divided into 4, that is Brahmin, Rajput, Vaishyas and Shudras. So this was there. So Brahmin were the priests, those who took the charge of presenting yagna and offering worship to the god, and teaching the children of the Rajput and other communities. Rajputs were there, they were the brave, courageous, they were the ruler basically. Vaishyas are there, they were the known for the trade and merchants and other works. Shudras are there, Shudras were also there, but they were not from the ancient time, they were not the part of the society. That is why they don't want to mention them. So this was the caste system that was the basis of society in that particular period. And not only Shudras, there were many like women were also extracted from the society. They were also not holding some position. They were not allowed to take part in any of the discussion. There were so many things. This was the status of women in the medieval period. As well as they were practicing sati system. They were doing the child marriage, polygamy. So lot of practices were there. So sati is, you know, that if a husband get died, so wife will sit on the prey of her husband, and she will be also get born with her husband. Child marriage, getting married earlier at the age of 6, 7 or 10, 11. Or polygamy means one male can have more number of females, like have more number of wives with them. So these were the common during the medieval period of the Indian history. The last topic is economy. So economy is the base of any country. If economic condition of a particular kingdom is not well, so they cannot be prosper and they cannot be expand their territories. So there is agriculture is the only major source of occupation as well as source of revenue. So whatever the land they conquer, more land they will conquer, the more revenue they will get, the more territories will come under their in their kingdom. So the main focus was on controlling the territories, or for that they can get the more revenue. As well as this, they have the trade relation with other countries like China, Southeast Asia, Western world. So this shows that India was India was famous for the centuries and for their various materials. So like if I tell you the example what the materials that we export from the India, like spices, textile, precious stone. So these were there were so many more things that we export from India, and there were so many more things that we import, like horses, good quality of horses. So the armies which are having the good quality of horses, they are the most powerful army, and precious metals and stones. So there were so many things that were imported from other countries. So this shows that we were so prosperous, we were so famous in that period also, in the medieval period also, that we are able to trade with the other people. Now there is the people, those who are trading or purchasing or making anything, they do not purchase themselves. They made the organization. That organization was known as Shreni. So the organization of merchant was known as Shreni, and the head of the Shreni was the Shrestri. So Shrestri is the head, and he look after all of the things, all of the requirement, which people will sell, which people will purchase, what they have to purchase. So all of the record is carried by the Shrestri, and he is the head of the Shreni. So this is the topic that we have read, or in the next video we will read the last topic of the chapter, that is the Chola Empire. It is the southern empire that was rose in the 7th century. So in the last video I had given the homework that you have to find out all of the rulers, the founder of all those 3 dynasties. So there is also I am going to give you the homework that you have to find out all of the founder of the dynasty which I had explained in this video, that you have to write in your copy. I hope you are able to understand. If you have any confusion, you can ask in the comment box. Thank you.